Hello, everybody. Jason Davis, as you can see right there on the screen. We didn't get a chance to do a morning kick around here on Wednesday. I was doing my other job, which is talking about soccer on the radio. But I thought I should jump on here and give you guys something which is a response to a response. So the story is that on Monday, in the absence of Rob Kerr, who was on vacation, I jumped on the air and I jumped on morning kick around. And I decided to talk about something that came out of the weekend, which was lower division soccer stuff happened, and Vermont Green won a national title and got a bunch of people very excited and out in Burlington, and we celebrated that. And then I said something about how I was frustrated by the amount of reaction to Vermont Green winning a title that seemed to be about promotion and relegation in America, that it was not possible for people, or a lot of people, to sort of accept Vermont Green and their story on its own terms, that there was this need to make it about promotion and relegation in the United States. And maybe it came off as preachy. I mean, I'm sure it did. I know that that's a thing that happens sometimes, particularly when you're talking to a microphone by yourself, and maybe it's a trait of mine. Like, I'm achingly aware of some of the ways I come off when I talk about whatever it is that's on my mind. This response to Vermont Green and the response to their title led to me talking about videos on YouTube that have been served up to me on the algorithm that were titled things like how this fourth division team is Major League Soccer's worst nightmare. And I responded to that idea, right? Now, I didn't specifically mention anybody, but people put two and two together and figured out that probably what I was talking about was a video from the touchback, which I'm a little bit aware of. I mean, I've seen the content come across my algorithm. I'm not as deep into the YouTube world as maybe I should be. I don't know. Certainly, from what I can tell, the touchback makes a regular stream of content on a number of different topics, and they've gone in a direction of soccer. It seems, I don't know if that's recent, but there's some soccer content there, which is obviously why I'm getting served up the video. Why MLS should fear this small American soccer club. That was the actual name of the video that was posted by the touchback about this, right? About the story of Annapolis Blues in this case. So that was the topic, right? And in that video, which I'll admit I hadn't watched, again, I made a mistake in that regard. And I can say I'm sorry for that. Probably should have watched the video rather than respond to the idea. But as somebody who has, and again, I don't know if I'm defending myself here or just trying to give some explanation, and I'll let you decide whether any of this flies. If you want to think me an idiot or somebody who's not operating in good faith because I didn't watch the video that led to me being inspired to talk about this story, that is a fair criticism of me. That is a fair criticism of me, and I can't deny that. Thinking about a history of how we talk about soccer in America. All right, having done this on some level, been engaged in soccer in America for a long time, right? I'm not just a guy making YouTube videos. I mean, I don't know that means anything to you, and I'm not trying to take any away from somebody who is fairly new to this and has been making YouTube videos for a while. But my experience matters in some way to how I talk about the sport in America. Right? And I'm not going to tell you my story. Go find it. I mean, the touchback decided to use a couple of clips, pictures of me. I mean, I do think it's a choice, right? To bring up a picture of me from my soccer morning days, which is more than a decade now in the past. I don't know what the point of that was. Like, there was not even a reference that it was from soccer morning. It was just a picture of me looking somewhat different than I do now. Again, I don't know what some of this was about. I obviously struck a nerve, right? And I think that my instinct, and maybe a lot of people's instinct, would be to fire back or get angry about this or say, how dare you, or whatever it is. And there were some criticisms in there that I certainly don't agree with, right? I don't think that the picture painted of me was entirely accurate. But again, they don't know me that well, I guess, or don't know enough about my history or my experience within the game to have a sense of anything. I have been painted as, I don't know what the current nomenclature is. MLS shill? Is that right? Defender of the status quo? A guy who doesn't stand up for the moral good, right? Again, this is the framing that always comes around when we talk about promotion and relegation in smaller clubs in America, that there's this moral framing that, again, I mean, look, MLS now, monster of American soccer. MLS, as the bully on the block these days, certainly has behaved in ways that are, I don't know, monopolistic. I don't like that word. I don't think that word applies to MLS. I don't think there is a monopoly of soccer in America. But if you are not a fan of the way Major League Soccer operates in 2025, I can understand why you would say, hey, that they're trying to keep down stories like Annapolis Blues or whatever else. Now, some of that criticism in there as well was about questions I asked the people that come on Morning Kick Around. How I wasn't aggressive enough with Michael Hitchcock or talking about the New York Cosmos. I guess some of this is maybe I'm still trying to figure out what is being demanded of me via the questions being asked by the touchback. Accused of being in this for the money, I guess. Constant mentions of how we encourage people to buy a membership to the Morning Kick Around. This is a business that I launched in part to give me an opportunity to talk about American soccer stories that I care about. But I have people that are working on the show that are not soccer professionals like I am. So I would like to be able to pay them for their time. Maybe that rubs you the wrong way. Maybe that feels money grubbing or exploitative or something like that. Fine. I mean, again, I think emotion has maybe become part of the story here because I unfortunately made a mistake in not giving enough credit to the touchback when we talk about the stories that they're telling, because I responded to a clickbait headline. And I guess the reasoning on using clickbait headlines isn't just to get more views for your own videos to drive revenue. It's also because you just need to get people in the door. I mean, I guess we're all carnival barking on some level, right? We're all doing that. Now, again, man, if you want to be mad at me, be mad at me. It's not something I'm really going to care about too much longer. I see that you put a lot of effort into the video. And you went back and you watched old stuff that I have done, things that exist on YouTube, things that most people don't pay attention to. I don't know what to make of that. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm sensitive to the idea that sometimes we tell stories on Morning Kick Around that we don't have in-depth knowledge of. Right? And again, if that's what you demand of us, then I'm sorry. I mean, I guess we can try to do better. In some cases, though, what we're trying to do on Morning Kick Around is spotlight things. Tell stories that aren't otherwise being told, or bring attention to things that aren't otherwise being paid attention to. And those standards are always worth paying attention to. They're always worth being aware of. And I certainly don't want to put bad information into the world. I was accused of doing that on the Sacramento Stadium story. All right. In that case, there'll always be somebody who knows more than I do about local stories in particular. So I suppose, again, like, can certainly understand why you would say, hey, if you got all of that wrong, don't tell that story. And we can make those adjustments. We can be a different kind of show. If this is what's going to, if it is undermining what people are doing in a place like Sacramento or anywhere else, because that I don't want to do. Again, you can accuse me of, I don't know what it is exactly, like not championing American soccer. I suppose you can make an argument that if your particular view is that MLS is bad, a league that I talk about critically on a regular basis, but am loath to toss out like it doesn't have value in American soccer. I mean, again, and last thing I'll say, just because it's part of the story here, being accused of angling for an Apple TV gig. Like I built my career. I got a opportunity to work in soccer. I do that every single day. So I'm fine with where I am at. I'm not sure why the accusations about playing to Men in Blazers and Apple TV are part of your argument. If you want to say that I got things wrong, fair enough. Fair enough, I got things wrong. I don't know, man. I would like to have a dialogue maybe about this. If you don't want to, that's fine. We can leave it. You know, your video is going to live on the internet for people to find. If they don't like Jason Davis, they'll have something to watch and feel good about themselves with that. The false voice of American soccer. Man, I like best of luck for your channel. But best of luck for your soccer content. I'm glad that you're out there. I'm glad that you are Tank Man standing in front of the tank. And I, as somebody who doesn't necessarily see this as some existential war, who thinks soccer is great, but also doesn't describe moral value to things like promotion and relegation, I'm just gonna keep doing most of what I'm doing. So, thank you again for watching our video. And again, if you want to get together and tell stories and have a conversation about this, yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.